The mission is to equip India's firefighters with it. Vision of FSI is a Surakshit Bharat. FSI represents the interest to enhance safety and security of citizens in India. So we will understand something about the FSI. FSI is a Fire and Security Association of India non-profit organization established in 2002, representing the fire protection, life safety, security, building automation, loss prevention, and risk management industry. For most of us, this is a second job, that is voluntary job, that gives us satisfaction of contributing to the society and nation. FSI interest is to expand the quality and quantity of the talent pool needed for industry. In colleges, we learn about the technical series, but what is needed by the market, that we have to learn from the association. There are total 7,800 members of FSI in all India and abroad. Out of that, 840 are global and Indian corporators such as Siemens, Honeywell, Bosch, Schindler, Tyco, Kirloskar, Dixon, Reliance, L&T. So we all got opportunity to connect with these global partners by being the member of FSI. There are total 6,980 plus members, which are Indian and global professionals, including leading architects and consultants, and end users and students like you. There are total 23 chapters, including student chapters in Ahmedabad, Amravati, Bangalore, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Delhi, Goa, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and even also in Nashik and Pune. FSI is publishing FSI magazine bi-monthly. So in this magazine, the latest and updated information on products and technologies from the world over of fire protection and life safety, loss prevention, risk management, surveillance, security, cyber security, building automation, etc. are covered. Any initiatives taken by the student chapters, any innovation in the India, any information related to COVID-19 task force, everything is covered in this FSI journal. Recently, FSI has sanitization chamber to the government of India, like NMC, fire offices, civil hospital, etc. So FSI is doing the social work also. So today's our topic is design parameters for fireproof structures. So we are going to cover all the firefighting and safety equipments which are necessary for making the building as a fireproof structure. So always keep in mind, don't play with the fire, because fire can happen anywhere, anytime, and to anyone. So we should understand what is fire exactly. Fire is a process in which substances combine chemically with oxygen from the air and typically give out bright light, heat, and produces smoke. The first rule of firefighting is to know the enemy. You can't win against someone about whom you don't know. So we have to understand in the fireproof structure that if the fire occurs, what is important? We should understand fire is our enemy, and whole this seminar is depend upon how to control this fire and how to avoid this fire. Means preventive actions and post actions after the fire. So what is fire triangle? Fire triangle is a oxygen, heat, and fuel combination. When there is a chemical reaction between all these three components, oxygen, heat, and fuel, fire occurs. To get the fire, any one of the component is required. And if we are successful in controlling any one component like oxygen, heat, and fuel, the fire will not occur. The chain reaction makes fire continue to burn. Main objective in case of fire emergency, save by shifting the people to a safe place and to control the fire. So if any fire occurs, the first our aim is, being as a student or as a civilian, to save the life of the people and to shift them to a safe place. Though the building is fireproof and all aspects are covered, but when the fire occurs, our duty is to save the people, life of people. When we are extinguishing the fire, we have to always base at the fire. See in this figure, the person is using the fire extinguisher, and we have to focus on will close earlier. Now we will observe some major fire disasters in India. So why these disasters are happen, and we have to find the remedies to avoid such kind of disasters. What equipments, what are the technologies which are used in recently to avoid such major fire disasters. So we will understand one by one the fire disasters. In last 5 years, there are 62 deaths per day due to fire. You can just imagine 62 deaths per day due to fire. More than one fire incident occurs in every major city every day. More people die of smoke from the fire than the fire itself. See, when there is a fire, the smoke is generated, and there is no provision provided to the buildings to go the smoke out. So because of that, because of the suffocation and inhalation of toxic gases, many people die. Stairwells and elevator shafts are the first to fill with the smoke and block evacuation. Surat Coaching Center. So everybody is aware that there is a disaster on 24th May 2019 in Surat Coaching Center. A fire occurred at a commercial complex of Surat in Gujarat. 22 students died and others were injured in an academic coaching center located on the building terrace. The venue is Takshashila Arcade, and the cause is the electrical short circuit. You can see in the figures how the building is covered by the smokes. It is very horrifying moments of nearly a dozen teens trying to escape from the plumes of the thick smoke rising from the building and sleeping. A few also jumped off while some were seen on the videos trying to grab a large banner on the side of the building. You can see in photographs the students are jumping from the windows to save their lives, but they are died because fall from the height. Many fire tenders are trying to extinguish the fire. What are the learnings from these incidents? The 22 students died due to asphyxiation. Asphyxiation means inhalation of the smoke. Smoke is more dangerous than the fire. Smoke extraction systems are not provided in these buildings. Windows and maintaining air charges per hour is very critical. Spread of fire from ground floor to the terrace. Lack of passive fire protection. Passive fire protection will stop the spread of the fire and smoke. Ceiling height was just 5 feet. You can just imagine the height of the roof is just 5 feet. According to National Building Code 2016, it should be followed, but it has not followed. And the second staircase was locked. So the students are not able to go out of the building from the second staircase. Because ready to use is the concept, it is not followed, and the staircase is not tested and tried whether it is open for escape. Two floors are built without permission. So adherence to the statutory is for personal and property safety. So if the NMC has taken the action and seen that whether the floors are sanctioned or not, these incidents may not have been happen. The next is Indian Oil Corporation depot fire. This fire occurs in Jaipur on 29 October 2009. The fire dosed after fuel burned completely. Fire visible from 20 kilometers away from the fire. In this fire, there are huge financial and inventory losses to Indian Oil Corporation. This is a oil blast. The incidents occurred when ऐकू येत आहे ना?
Yes, sir, I can say.
The incident occurred when petrol was being transferred from the Indian Oil Corporation
multiple participants
oil depots to pipeline. There were at least 40 IOC employees at the terminal situated very close to the Jaipur International Airport when the caught fire with an explosion. So you can imagine if the any human injury is there, these all 40 employees will be died. So we can understand the importance of such kind of fires. Then the Pune Sari shop. This fire occurs on 9th May 2019. You can see in these photographs, the whole area inside the sari shop was just damaged. The root cause of this fire is the exit doors was locked from the outside and labor stays inside the premises. Due to the fear of theft, the owner of the shop has locked the floor from the outside. So when the fire occurs around 4:30 a.m., there was a sudden short circuit in the shop. The worker inside the shop immediately informed to the manager about the incidents, and the fire brigade team rushed to the spot with five vehicles as soon as they got the information. But everything is late, and five laborers were killed in this Pune Sari shop blaze. Then the Embry Hospital, Dhakuria, Kolkata. This fire occurs on 9 December 2011, and total 89 people died in this fire. Major fire at private hospital that occurs in the early morning. The
Harshad
fire
sir,
claim 18. हाँ sir.
sir, sorry to disturb, but
Sir,
your
बोला,
screen
sir.
is not visible, sir.
Screen is not.
Sir, तुमची screen नाही दिसत आहे.
PPT नाही दिसत आहे का?
Sir, please share the screen kept at the bottom, green color. In the bottom row, there is an icon near
Display,
chat
sir,
share
ada?
screen. Please click that icon.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir, visible now.
Visible है. I repeat.
Sir, please make it full screen.
Yes. Is it visible?
Five. Now it's better.
यस सर आप सही है
It's visible, sir. Please continue.
Okay. So.
यस सर नाउ
Embry
वी आर एबल टू
Hospital, Kolkata. This fire occurs on 9 December 2011. Total 89 people died in this fire. In this fire, there are a lot of violations done by the management as well as the hospital staff. Lot of inhalation of toxic gases, and the smoke has no provision due to glass facade. The whole building is covered with the help of glass facade, and there are no windows and no evacuation facility. So to take the people out, the firefighter has to break the glass so that the people can be evacuated. And the design of this building is faulty design with inadequate protection mechanism. So such kind of faults we have to understand and avoid in future. Then the recent fire, Vizag fire at the Visakhapatnam. This fire occurs on 7th May 2020. Total 11 people died in this fire. During the lockdown period of COVID-19, this factory is closed, and when they are tried to open this incident happens. There is a leak of gases like styrene, which is harmful for human health. At LG Polymer at the time of opening of units. So you can see these figures how the oil tankers are blasted. Then the next is Sri Kanya Cinema Hall. This fire occurs on 17 September 2018 at Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. The famous Sri Kanya theatre is area based in the fire. According to the reports, the fire started due to the short circuit of the cell towers located on the movie theatre. The two screens in the hall were completely destroyed. Luckily, there were no casualties. So why we are studying these fire accident cases? So we have to find out the solution for this. So every citizen of India is responsible to find out the solution for such kind of fires and to avoid. You can see Kolkata office, April 2019, Delhi supermarket, May 2018. These buildings are completely damaged due to the fire. So what has happened? In 2016, National Code has designed called separating these building categories. All buildings which are new or existing shall be classified according to the use or type of the occupancy in one of the following groups. So we have to distribute the buildings we are looking around us in any of the category from A to J, which is the first group A is residential. lodging, dwelling, dormitories, flats, and hotels are covered in residential buildings. So the NBC laws are different for residential, educational, and institutional. School, colleges, recreations are educational buildings. Hospitals, home guards, orphanages, jails, mental hospital, reformatories are institutional buildings. Like that, theaters, drama hall, assembly hall, auditorium, exhibition, restaurant, place of worship, terminals are assembly buildings. So we should be able to dis- distinguish the building, whether the building is a business building or mercantile building. For that, we should know what are business building and what are mercantile buildings. Offices, labs, computer installations are business buildings. Shops, stores, market are mercantile buildings. Assembly plants, labs, pumping stations, refineries, sawmills are industrial buildings. Like that, storages, marine terminals, garages, stables are storage building. And used to store combustible or explosive materials which produces poisonous fumes or explosion or toxic gases are hazardous buildings. These kind of buildings are very dangerous and more fire safety is required in hazardous building. So we should understand the fire safety systems now. So what are the fire safety systems which are useful to avoid such kind of fires? So we should know the importance of fire detection system, fire suppression system, pressurization system, safety equipments, firefighting equipment in the design of the building. The main firefighting systems are fire alarm system, firefighting system, and public address system. So we will study in detail all these systems one by one. The first one is the fire alarm panel. The fire alarm panel is a panel which controls to activate quick emergency response when there is a fire. So everyone in the building has a chance to get out safety. This is located outside the building so that any incidents happen in the building is immediately informed to the fire alarm and it will try to the rescue operation. It informs the BMS of a fire situation. BMS means building management system to stop the air handling units, start pressurization fans, etc. De-energize the magnetic access doors, triggers PA system for evacuation messages, informs elevator controls to keep the fire flow. That when the elevator, any floor is taken the fire, so that floor is skipped from the elevator. So the elevator is not open in that floor. So people can be safe from fire in that floor. How is the working of the fire alarm panel? There are the assemblies and equipments which are shown in this diagram, like smoke detector, emergency brake glass, heat detector, LED flasher, water sprinkler, alarm, and door release. So all these equipments are connected to the fire alarm control panel. So anything happen in the building is immediately informed on the panel and we can start the rescue system. So now we will study all these components one by one. The first one is the detectors. There are two kinds of detectors, smoke detector and heat detector. They detect the smoke at a certain intensity and particular matter or at a sudden rise in temperature of air. So when any fire occurs, the temperature of that area increases and this detector exactly note the rise in the temperature so that they start giving signaling. Hooter. Hooter is nothing but a sounder. It activates when the fire is detected to commence evacuation. Means their large sound is produced in the affected area and the occupants of the building came to know that something has happened in that area. Manual call point means MCP. The brake glass to activate root. You can see in the figures, this unit is placed in the wall. So when any occupants found that the fire is happened, so he has to break the glass and push the switch so that it is informed to the fire alarm panel and everybody is alerted. The next is the strobe. It produces a loud sound to notify occupants to evacuate the building. It guides people by beaming light through the smoke so that the people can navigate their way to safety. What happened in the case of fire? The smoke is spread in the passages and lobby. So we are not able to see where is the staircase, where is lift, and where are the exit ways. So this strobe emits beam of light and produce sound So the light can pass through the smoke and we can understand the exit ways and it can navigate us to the exactly safety way. It is a light activated to alert fire force regarding location of the fire, especially useful when the smoke is dense. Now we can understand the smoke detectors working. How the smoke detectors work. You can see in the figure, the light source is at one end and the light sensitive devices at the other end. Light source is trying to emit the light beams and it is sensed by the sensitive device. When there is a fire, smoke is generated and the smoke disturbs the light source beam. So immediately it is noticed that the smoke has occurred. Smoke produced by a fire affects the intensity of a light beam passing through the air. How we can measure the smoke? A beam of light of known intensity measuring how much light gets through it. Smoke causes a scattering of the source light. This is detected by sensing the device and it is informed to the fire alarm panel. How is the smoke management? When smoke is spread in the building, how we can manage the smoke? There are two ways. One is the preventive ignition and the second is the management of the smoke after ignition. So how we can prevent? We can control the smoke at heat energy sources, fuel interactions to be avoided and control the fuel. These are the preventive ignition. And management is manage the threat and manage the exposure. So there are 5 methods to manage the fire. The first one is the compartmentation. Compartmentation means separation of the fire area. So if there are total 5 blocks and the fire occurred in the first block, so we have to manage that the fire should not go from one compartment to the another compartment. This is compartmentation. Suppression of the fire means to stop the fire at the source itself. Control of construction materials, exit systems, and smoke control. Most efficient way of limiting fire damages is through the compartmentation. Use of fire-rated assemblies like floors or walls to keep the fire in the given area itself for a specific period so that the people get chance to evacuate or move from that place. However, fire can pass through the openings for plumbing, HVAC ductwork, communication cables or other services. Now we can see how the installation of the detector has to be done in the building. First, we have to see where to not place the detector and where to place the detectors. So, in very damp area, humid area, such as bathrooms and fountains, we should avoid the placing of the detectors. In very hot or very cold areas, as sensors perform satisfactory in the range of 4.5 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. In dusty, dirty, insect-infected areas near supply of air outlet, we should avoid the installation of the detectors. You can see in this figure the supply of the air and the detector is installed immediately near the supply of the air. This is the incorrect position. We have to always install the detector in the return air path so that it will work perfectly and it will be useful us for the fire evacuation. Next is the heat detector. The heat detector is an instrument that warns of fire when the temperature around the smoke detector reaches a certain level. So when the temperature increases, the heat detector starts giving signal. But heat detector do not detect smoke. For that, we have to provide the smoke detectors. On the other hand, smoke detector warns of fire when it comes across combustion or soot products in the atmosphere. What heat detectors do? Heat detectors measure the temperature. A sudden abnormal temperature rises, like say 10 degrees Celsius in a minute, would trigger an alarm, must not be located in direct path of hot or cold air flow. Combination of smoke and heat detectors are also available in the market. So we have a choice to provide whether the separate heat detectors or smoke detectors or providing a single unit which can detect the smoke and informs the any fire occurs. Next is the hooter. It is an electronic hooter used in fire alarm system to alert the people in case of fire. It is usually fully solid state with an audio output that is high enough for it to heard at a distance that is not less than 50 meter. So we can listen the sound at a distance of 50 meter when it started buzzing. The hooters generally have a facility to adjust the output volume based on the requirements on the site. What are the Hooter specifications? These are very important design concept. Minimum sound level of a sounder should be 65 decibels or 5 decibels above background noise. Means if a background noise is 70 decibel, it should be 70 plus 5, that is 75 decibels, lasting for more than 30 seconds, and a frequency between 500 Hz and 1000 Hz. Maximum sound level must not exceed 120 decibel. The minimum is 65 decibel and maximum is 120 decibels. So the sound remains in between this range. For the areas where people are sleeping, you can observe in this figure, sounder devices should produce a minimum 75 decibel at the bed head with all doors shut. So we have chance to arrange the frequency of the hooter as per the requirement and the site condition. We will see the firefighting systems which are used to control the fires one by one. The first one is the sprinklers. What is meant by sprinklers? You can see in the photograph how the sprinklers are activating. Fire sprinklers discharges water when the effect of a fire have been detected, such as when a predetermined temperature has been exceeded, the sprinkler starts spraying. There are two types of sprinkler, quick response and standard response. So there is a only difference of bulb thickness. In quick response, the thickness of the bulb is 3 mm, and in standard response, the thickness is 5 mm. So 3 mm bulb starts earlier sprinkling, and 5 mm bulb start later sprinkling. So fire sprinklers can stop a fire in less than 1.5 minutes. Only the sprinkler closest to the fire will activate, spraying water directly on the fire. So though we have provided n number of sprinklers in the building, all sprinklers will not be activated at a single time. They activate in the only in the area where the fire has occurred. The next is the pressurization system. It is very useful system to evacuate the people from the staircase areas. So we will understand what is meant by pressurization. A pressurization system is provided to prevent smoke leaking into the stairs by injecting clean air into the stair, such that the pressure in the staircase is higher than the adjacent fire compartment. You can notice in this figure, the first floor, second floor, and third floors are with fire. In spite of that, the people are coming from that compartment to the staircase and evacuating easily. Why this has happened? Because there is a pressurization of the staircase is done from the bottom of the staircase, and the pressure in the staircase is high while the pressure in the fire compartment is low. So because of that, the air is pushing the smoke inside the compartment and it is not coming out. In the second figure, you can see that the outside air pushes smoke back. You can see the red arrow that is pushing the smoke inside the room and stop it spreading in the staircase. Pressure difference across the barrier can control the smoke movement, preventing smoke on the low pressure side of the barrier from migrating to the higher pressure side. You can see the first figure. In this figure, there is a smoke inside the low pressure side and fire inside the low pressure side. So this high pressure side means pressurization side. The smoke and fire to come out of the room. So it will prevent the spreading of the fire. And in the second figure showing that the lift lobby pressurization fan. So lift lobby is pressurized in the same fashion like as the staircase. In these figures, you can see the how fan is installed at the top of the staircase, and the assembly is shown in the second figure. How is the assembly at the top of the terrace within the staircase? The next is the fire extinguishers. As per section 7.10.4 part 4 of NBC, it is a portable device that discharges a jet of water, foam, gas or another material to extinguish the fire. To extinguish the fire means to stop the fire. So there are total 4 principles of fire extinction. The first is starvation. Starvation means isolating the fuel from burning. Second is cooling. Cooling means reducing the temperature. Third is smothering. Smothering means limiting the oxygen. So we have to stop the oxygen by smothering. And the fourth is interruption of chain reaction. So there are total 4 categories of the fire extinguishers: class A, B, C, D. So according to the use, we have to use the class. So class A is a wood, paper, cloth, and trash. Class B is a flammable liquids and oils. Class C is flammable gas, liquefied flammable gases. And class D is combustible metals, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So we are very easily this fire extinguisher available at hospitals, schools, and colleges. So when we see the fire extinguisher, we have to see the class of the fire extinguisher, which kind of fire extinguisher is provided, and how to use this fire extinguisher. You can see in this figure there is a ring provided at the top of the extinguisher. Just we have to remove this pin so that the fire extinguisher can be easy to operate. Next is the fire hydrant. A fire hydrant is a connection point by which a firefighters can tap into the water supply. You can see in this figure, the firefighter has connected the fire hose to the fire hydrant pipe, which is connected to the water tank, and start watering the area of the fire. It is a component of active fire protection. Underground fire hydrants have been used in Europe and Asia since at least the 18th century. And nowadays, above ground pillar type hydrants are in the 19th century invention. You can see how the hydrant looks like. These hydrants are provided in our colleges, schools. So there is a chain provided at the hydrants. You can remove that cover and connect the hose to water. The next is how is the pump room. The pump provides water supply to the internal and external fire hydrant systems. The role of pump room is very important because it supplies the water to the hydrants, sprinklers. It can be powered by electric or diesel pump. The pump provides water supply at high pressure. The location and access of this fire room should be pre-planned with the firefighting department, because the fire norms of every city are different, because most fire departments have procedures requiring operations of fire pump. During an incident, building designers should locate the pump room to be easily accessible. So as a designer, as an engineer, as an architect, we should locate the fire room which is having very easy access. So in case of emergency, the firefighter should go in the fire pump room. The next is fire suppression system. So we have to understand what is meant by suppression.
I'm interrupting the session. Harshad sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you requiring more time? So that if you require more time, then you can extend our session.
I require more time, sir.
Okay, sir. So I request all the participants to re-log in with same ID and password when this session ends. Okay. Sir, you can continue.
Sir, Anand sir,
Yes,
sorry
sir.
to interrupt you.
Okay,
This session has been upgraded. No time limit is there.
Okay, sir. So
He can continue without, it will not be closed. He
Okay.
can continue. No problem will be there.
so there is no necessity to extend, na? Okay, sir.
Okay.
No necessity to
re-log
close
in
and relog. No, it can be continued.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, please continue.
Yes, sir. We have to understand what is fire suppression system. It is automatically detect and suppress the fire at the source only. So no need to inform to the fire panel and other evacuation systems. It suppress the fire at the source only. A fire suppression system is any product designed to stop the fire from spreading. It gets the name suppression system as it aims to hold back the fire and damage it may cause, preventing the fire from the spreading. You can see the figure of kitchen area. When the fire occurs in the kitchen, the fire suppression system is provided exactly above it, and it starts foaming on the fire and stops the fire. There are two types of suppression systems. First one is gas system, which is FM200. It is a chemical reaction with the fire to extinguish it. And for kitchen, there is a chemical foam is used to extinguish fire. Next is jet fans. Jet fan is a mechanical ventilator. It prevents smoke spread and reduces heat of fire. So jet fans provides the ability to ventilate the extract smoke without any duct, resulting in the tremendous cost saving, power saving, and increased installation efficiency. This means that the jet fans isn't directly saving the cost to the builder or any person who is constructing the building, because there is no need to provide separate ducts to maintain the ducts. It can be accessible in the car parking area also. Jet fans can be used for normal ventilation and also for smoke extract in case of emergencies or a combination of both. You can see in this figure, the jet fan is provided in the car park area. Jet fan is an inventor of a ductless car park ventilation system. The next is public address system. This is very important system for the evacuation of the people from the building. So it is used for live emergencies evacuation by announcing from fire officer. It is an electronic amplifier and two-way communication. Two-way communication means the people or occupant inside the building can also communicate with the fire officer that what is happening in the building and what help they are needed to come out of the building. Public address systems are often used in the small venues such as schools, auditoriums, church, and small bars. Public address systems with many speakers are widely used to make announcement in public, institutional and commercial buildings, and locations such as schools, stadiums, and passenger vessels and aircraft. Intercom systems installed in many buildings have both the speakers throughout the building and microphones in many rooms so occupants can respond to the announcement. Public address system and intercom systems are commonly used as a part of emergency communication system. So this system is very important nowadays, which can save the life of the people. The next is fire damper. The fire damper are passive fire protection products used in heating, ventilation and air conditioning, that is HVAC ducts, to prevent the spread of fire inside the ductwork through fire resistance rated walls and floors. This means that when there is a fire in the duct, this fire damper stops the fire from going out this duct to the another duct. It closes automatically on detection of the heat. So no need to activate it. It is an totally automatic fire damper. As soon as it senses the heat or temperature, it closes itself. Primary function is to prevent the passage of flame from one side of fire rated separation to the other side. So after using all these fire equipments and technologies, the ultimate aim is to evacuation. So what should be the evacuation process? You can see in this figure, when we are in the house and there is a smoke detector provided that detects smoke in the event of fire and triggers alarm. So fire doors, you can see in the point number 5, fire doors are provided. The fire door slows down the spread of smoke and fire so that people can get out. So we should provide the fire doors of minimum 2 hours fire rating so that the fire can be stopped going out of the compartment. People escape through the front door without using a key. So as we have seen the Pune fire, the door of the front door is closed from the outside. So people are not able to evacuate. So we have to always keep the front door open so that the people can be come out of the building. Stairwells, landing and halls are kept clean so that people can get out without tripping over obstacles. Emergency lights illuminate the way when the power fails. And there are option of escape windows which can be helped to go out of the building as a secondary escape route. So this is the evacuation process. In this next figure, you can see the refuge area. This is generally the high-rise buildings. What is meant by refugee area? It is an area or a location in a building designed to occupants during a fire or other emergencies. When the evacuation may not be safe or possible, occupants can wait there until rescue or delivered received by the firefighters. So just people or occupant ants wants to come in the rescue floor, refugee floor, and the firefighters can remove them easily with the help of stairs or helicopters or any other media where the people are evacuated from the refugee floors. The next is escape chute and evac chairs. the people who are not able to take from the staircase, the evacuation checks are very useful to evacuate them from the building. The next is the escape chute. The escape chute, you can see in this figure, the white color escape chute is provided at 5th floor, and the person is getting out easily from that escape chute. So this escape chute is should be provided at every level, so that though the building is of glass facade or any exterior, that there is a escape route provided, and it should be properly giving signages inside the floor, and the proper training to the occupant should be given where is this escape chute is provided, so that they can use this chute easily and come out of the building without any physical or burning. There are many other considerations in the design to be taken to make the building as a fireproof structures. So the standards of UL, FM, NFPA, NBC 2016 to be followed as per the category of the building, whether it is residential, industrial or commercial. Water curtains, fire curtains to be provided for isolating the zones to avoid the fire from going one zone to the another zone. Then next is fully integrated IBMS system, which is used for the evacuation of the system. So all the control is at one computer. Proper design of the fire exits and staircases, wireless fire alarm systems, multi-zoning of the pumps for high-rise to serve pressure requirements of individual zones. So if the pressure requirement of the zone is different and multi-zones are provided, then the requirement can be catched very easily to protect the life of the people. Use of fire grades PVC pipes instead of MS pipes. So these pipes will, fire graded PVC pipe will burn later. And technically we have some provisions. Everybody brief some points which are going the distance, weight, in the side margins, rules and regulations. Sir, can I explain?
Yes, sir.
Anand sir?
Yes, sir. You can continue.
The first is the width of the road. As per section 4.6a of part 3, 7.4.1 of part 4 of NBC, the road width should be minimum 12 meter for high-rise buildings, because the fire tender should move along the building. So the road width should be more. The road should not be hard surface to carry minimum weight of 18,000 kgs, the maximum weight of a fire engine. So in case of any fire emergency, the fire tender comes to close the fire. So the weight of the tender is 18,000 kgs. So the road must be designed to carry the load of fire tender. Entrance width and height clearances. So every high-rise building should have at least 2 means of access, one remote to the other, of minimum width of 4.5 meter, means the width of the fire tender, and the height of 5 meter. So there should not be any projection from the building, and any shade to be done in the corridor, so that the fire vehicles can move around the building at a distance of width of 4.5 meter and height of 5 meter. So this should be considered at the time of the design of the building. Setback or open spaces. There should be sufficient open spaces around residential buildings, as indicated in the next slide table. The essential facilities, pre-movement and operation of fire services vehicles. So if the height of the building is 9.5 meter to 12 meter, the setback distance should be 4.5 meter. Likewise, for 12 meter to 15 meter, it is 5 meter. For 15 meter, 18 meter is a 6 meter. So for every rise of 3 meter in the height of the building, the setback distance is increasing by 1 meter. So at the end, for the height of 50 meter, the setback distance should be 16 meter. For educational buildings, the open space shall not be less than 6 meter. Likewise, for institutional buildings, the open space shall not be less than 6 meters. For assembly building, except in front, open space shall not be less than 6 meter, and front open space shall not be less than 12 meters. So this setback distance should be kept in mind at the time of the design of the building, and this should not be varied or should not be less. Business, mercantile and storage buildings, in this it is a 4.5 meters. car parking in setbacks, open spaces. This is very important criteria. If the setback area, open spaces is more than 12 meter, then the provision for car parking can be done in the setback or open spaces at the periphery of the courtyard, leaving the 6-meter motorable road. So you can understand the setback distance is 12 meter and the courts are allowing to use the 6-meter out of 12 meter for the car parking. Ramp. Car parking should have to be done at the basement with provision of minimum 2 ramps, one remote to the other. So for high-rise building, there should be 2 ramps. One should be for inside and one should be for outside. Staircase. There are n number of rules and regulations for the staircases. Every high-rise building have minimum 2 number of staircases. Width of staircase varies from 1 meter to 2 meter. For residential building, width of staircase should be 1 meter. And out of 2 staircases, one can be used as a fire escape staircase. Width of fire escape should be minimum 0.75 meter. And number of staircase shall be given as per the travel distance. Staircase shall not be extended to the basement. This is an important point to prevent the smoke, heat and gases. From the basement, smoke, heat and gases can be traveled to the upper floors. So to avoid this, the fire from the basement floor to the upper floors, staircase shall not be extended to the basement. Access to the basement from the ground floor should be through a separate staircase. Means from the ground floor to the basement, the location of the staircase should be separate. And ground floor to the upper floors, the staircase location must be separate. Staircase shall not be enclosed type to prevent entry of smoke and fire to the staircase and vice versa. Means all sides of the staircase should not be closed. It should be open to the atmosphere so that the smoke and fire can go outside the area. Spiral staircase shall be provided up to 9 meters height only. External staircase normally shall not be allowed. Lift. And this is very important criteria because all lifts are provided in the high-rise buildings. Minimum one lift capable of carrying minimum 8 persons weighing 545 kgs shall be provided for high-rise building. Landing doors or lift shall open to the ventilated lobby. Means the lobby should not be closed, it is open to the air. And shall have a fire resistance of minimum 1 hour. One lift shall be designed as a fire lift. That means if there are total 6 lifts, at least one lift should be as a fire lift for the firefighters to go inside the building. Fireman switch shall be provided for each lift. Lift shall not be used as a means of evacuation. So at the time of evacuation, you should not use the lifts. You should use the staircases. Collapsible gates shall not be provided for the lift. If more than one lifts are installed, the partition wall should be minimum 2 hours fire resistance. Next is the refugee area. There are some norms for the refugee area. As we have seen in the last slide, the refugee area. Now we can understand the technical specification. For floors about 24 meter and up to 39 meter, one refugee area on the floor immediately about 24 meter. This means that about 24 meter height, you have to provide the refugee area, and it can be used up to 39 meter height. But next to 30 meter, for every 50 meter, there should be another refugee area to escape the people from the building. Next is the service ducts. All the service ducts, if provided, should have to be enclosed by walls of at least 2 hours fire resistance and should have to be sealed at every alternate floor with non-combustible material having at least 2 hours fire resistance. The sealing at the floor level is to prevent the travel of smoke and fire to the upper floors through the ducts. The next is the water tank. Underground water storage tank varies from 50,000 liters to 250,000 liters, depending on the type and occupancy of the building. Above mentioned water tank capacity is for one riser. If the number of risers will be more than one, then the quantity of water shall be increased in the proportionate. In addition to this, if automatic sprinklers, as we have seen in the previous slides, the sprinklers are provided at each floor levels. So if the automatic sprinkler trenches are provided for special risk, then this will be additional quantity of water. So as the number of sprinklers are more, the quantity provided should be more, and accordingly the size of water tank should be more. So everything should be considered in design. Next is the sprinkler. Sprinkler system is for basement parking and other risk areas where large quantity of combustible materials are stored. So we have to understand the threat and provide the sprinklers in that area. Each sprinkler should cover 6.96 square meter area. What this means, if we are provided 10 sprinklers in a room, the total area of the room divided by 6.96 is the number of sprinklers to be provided in a particular area. Normally, a separate sprinkler should be provided for a separate car. Sprinklers may connect to the main water tank pump, but capacity of the tank and pump shall be increased in the proportionate. The capacity of water tank shall be calculated on the basis of sprinklers. The next is escape route. Generally, in every colleges, hospitals, malls, these escape routes are provided. It may be provided in our college also. What do you mean by escape routes? These are marked with the signboards on the corridor and passage to guide the evacuation. You can see the figure. Normally, the escape routes signboards must be written in luminous paints so that if there are no light, then also the escape route is visible for easy identification. This is to guide every occupant of the building who is bound to panic in the event of accidents. So all green arrows are shown to go to the exit ways. Exit way means staircase and any exit doors, so that people or occupant in the building can be easily go out of the building with the use of these escape signages, emergency escape route plan. So this is very important. The next is the pump capacity. For underground water storage tank, pump shall be installed of a capacity either 1800 liters per minute or 2400 liters per minute, depending on the type and occupancy of the building, along with the jockey pump. At topmost hydrant, we should get the pressure of 3.5 bars. So at the time of fire audits, the fire departments go through all these norms which I have specified specifically. So as a student also, you should know what should be the pressure at the top, which is 3.5 bars. For terrace level water storage tank, pump shall be installed of capacity either 450 liters per minute, occupancy of the building, and alternative source of supply for the pump shall be provided, so that any source is not activated, another can serve the purpose. The next is alternative power supply. If the power supply fails, then all systems should be collapsed. So there should be always alternative power supply. A standby generator should be installed to supply power for staircase lighting, corridor lighting, fire pump, pressurization fan, blowers in the event of disconnection or failure of main supply. And the next is the requirement of fire officer. What should be the number of fire officer? It should be noted in the NBC code. Fire officer, supervisor for hotels, business and mercantile buildings with a height more than 30 meters. If the height of the building is 30 meters, we should provide one fire officer. And next is provision of helipad. For high-rise building above 60 meter height, provision of helipad to be made. And the next is very important, which can be done by us mock drills. So what is meant by mock drills? Fire safety plan. It is very important to have a fire safety plan to prevent and extinguish any fire in the building, with detailed action to be taken by each occupant. Telephone numbers of all emergency services must be indicated in the plan. So everybody should understand what is fire safety plan and what is emergency response plan. So this is a mock drill, means we are evacuating from the building as if the accident has happened or the fire is generated. So we have to do only drill and not the actual. So we understand what are the problems we are facing at the time of evacuating the people, or at the time of actual fire we can take care of the faults. We can understand some basic concepts of wet riser, downcomer, dry riser and hydrant. So what is wet riser? It is a vertical pipeline connected to the underground water tank. Downcomer, it is a vertical pipeline connected to the overhead tank. Dry riser, it is an alternative provision which is used for in case of emergency to avoid the freezing of water. Hydrant, it is a horizontal pipeline with outlet of 63 mm diameter connected to the underground water tank. Now, there are some important full forms which we should know as an engineer. The first is IBMS, Integrated Business Management System. MCP is a manual call point We have studied all these definitions in our presentation. PAS is a public address system. FAS, fire alarm system. FHS, fire hydrant system. SPK, sprinklers. CCTV is closed circuit televisions. Some standards and codes used for the design of the fireproof building. NBC is National Building Code. NAPA, National Fire Protection Association. NAPA 101, Life Safety Code. NAPA 72, National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code. ANSI, American National Standards Institute. International Standards, International Code Council, and Underwriters Laboratory. So all these codes are useful for the design of the equipments or design of the building. So next is a traveler without observation is like a bird without wings. You should read it very carefully. A traveler without observation is like a bird without wings. So we have to become a traveler and observe the firefighting equipment systems provided in near around our buildings. It may be educational buildings, schools, hospitals, malls. Whenever you go to any institute, you should observe whatever we have learned today, whether these systems are provided in the building or not, whether the fire norms are followed or not. So if you keep on observing, one day you will definitely understand the importance of fire and you can save the life of the people. So the last is Fire and Security Association of India publishes a lot of technical information, catalogs, literatures regularly. So to understand and to get the benefit of Fire Security Association of India and to be directly connected with FSI, you should visit www.fsi.in. In order to take the advantages of above, we request you to become a proud member of FSI. And in the recent course of time, we are going to taking a 5 days webinar series to understand the basic course of firefighting. So whatever we have learned today and what are the other concepts which will be taught to you in this 5 days course, and it will be launched in next 5 days. So thank you friends. If you have any queries, you can ask.
I request all the participants, if they are having any questions, they can ask to sir or write in the chat message.
You can write in the chat box.
लड़का के भी देता तो वो तो बंद ही हो गया, सामान बिकाऊ करे हैं अब, लेकिन ये लॉकडाउन चल गया तब से।
Is there any question?
और रही इधर सीपी वाला चल रहा था तो वो भी अब आजकल लॉकडाउन में बंद है। बेकरी है तो 75% उसका है, अरोरा का 25 का है, जाने हाफ हाफ है जो भी हो, तो वो कह रहे पहले हमारा निकल आएगा तब हम तुम्हारा हाफ हाफ करना तुम्हारा देंगे। बहुत ज्यादा ही परेशान है। हाँ, इसीलिए हमेशा बिजनेस करो, चाहे छोटी करो चाहे बड़ी करो, सेपरेट करो।
Is there any question you can ask to the sir?
हाँ हाँ, हमेशा इतनी बात हमेशा ध्यान करके जिंदगी में चले कि जितनी पैर पसारी है ज्यादा रोई। बस वाही में तो कर रहे, अब वो सबसे उधारी दे मारी तो फोन आते हैं, हम खुद हैं बैठे हम क्या करें, हमारे तो थोड़े है पीस है। हाँ, लेकिन बगल के 60 हुए किराए 5-6 महीना किराया छठमो लग गो। अब एग्रीमेंट साइन का टाइम आ रहा, अब बढ़ा रहे अगर आपने मई में करवा लीजिए तीसरी, अब जब 6 महीने तक।
Yes, I again request all the participants, if they are having any questions, they can ask to the sir or write in the chat box. Harshad sir?
अरे कुछ नहीं होता ये।
Hello.
we can stop the session if there are no questions.
Harshad sir, there is one question. Hello.
I read. Why the helipad is compulsory for the 60-meter height? So the 60-meter height is decided so that if there is any fire in the building, the firefighters and fire evacuation system is not possible above 60 meter. So to the helipad we can evacuate the people from the top of the building. So from the refugee floor at 39-meter height, the people are removed, and above 60-meter height with the help of helipad, the occupants can be removed. So the height is 60 meter. It can be different for the different countries.
Okay, काही सांगायची गरज नाही. Post
Hello.
केली ना?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have one question. How we can remove the employees or refugees from the confined areas? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
am I audible, sir?
Yes,
sir.
you are audible.
Yeah.
There is a-
How we can remove or yeah? Did you get my question?
I get your questions. For the confined
thank you, sir.
area, when for working in the confined area, there is a separate forms to work in the confined area, and the safety officer already informed the people who are working in the confined area to how to evacuate from the area, and the number of people which are entered in the confined area is properly recorded, and one person is standing outside the confined area. So if anything happen in that area, to remove from them from the confined area to the regular area, and when they come to the regular area, the whatever we have learned today, these systems can help them to come out of the building, and the safety officer has to take care of the confined area to remove them from that area. So all these systems are not workable in confined area.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Is there any further questions? I request all the participants to share their valuable feedback on the link below shared in the chat box by Praful Shinkar sir.
Harshad sir, thank you very much for your valuable guidance on how to make your structure safe against the fire. And I request all the participants, if you have any query after this session, you can also write mail to us, and we will try to get the answer from Harshad sir. And if you have any query later on, you can just let us know. And it doesn't seem that anybody is having any further question. So I think Jadhav sir, yes sir.
Sir, please tell all the participants to fill immediately this one.
Yes,
Feedback.
So, it is mandatory to all to submit the feedback form. Afterwards only you will get the e-certificate. 73 participants have already filled the feedback form. I have just checked. If anybody is remaining to fill the feedback form, please fill the feedback form so that you can receive the e-certificate on your registered mail ID.
It will be live within up to half an hour only. Please fill fast.
No, link is already live, and it will be closed after 5 p.m. today.
Sir, will you please share the presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes.
We will try to get from the
I will
speaker,
give you,
Harshad
sir.
sir.
Sir, please send on our registered email ID.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all the participants will, speaker has already approved to provide us the presentation. So on behalf of the organizing committee, we will send the PPTs to all the registered participants on their registered mail address.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So I think no further question. Harshad sir, once again, I, Professor Praful Shinkar, congratulating you to giving you a wonderful session on the fire safety, how to make the structure proof safe against the fire.
Thank you, sir. I am also thankful to Naik sir, Shinkar sir, and Anand sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we are also thanks to all the participants for showing that keen interest.
Thanks to the speaker and all the participants for joining this webinar. Thank you. Thanks one and all.
Thank you, everybody.
With this, I declare that session is concluded.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Proceed, sir.
Okay, sir.